What's up, family? It's your girl, Nakaya Winston. Thank you so much for tuning in once more to my YouTube channel, Chasing Christ. I just wanted to remind everyone, if you have not already, please go watch the prior videos because it leads up to this video for the series. And let's get into this week's discussion. So, if you watched any of the previous videos, you can see in the first video we kind of discussed, well not discussed, but like briefly went over the different types of love. There are 4 different types of love, just a reminder. One being storge love, which is like in the family unit. The second being filial love, which is more so like brotherly, friendly kind of love. Eros love being the next, which is more so romantic based, like on the romantic side. And agape love being the highest form of love that there possibly is, which is unconditional love. It's the love that God gives us and the love that He wants us to show all people on a day-to-day basis. God created us all with an assignment over our lives. You know, He has a plan for all of us, and He wants us to fulfill that plan, you know, to the best of our ability. And that's what we were placed to do. So He can only hope and want that we surround ourselves with people who will help us fulfill and, you know, help us achieve His divine plan. So that doesn't mean, you know, you don't love everyone or you gotta be mean to people or stuff like that. No. But the people in your inner circle, you should definitely know and make sure that they're helping you strive to your purpose and fulfill your purpose for the kingdom. You know, kind of simultaneously works together. So getting into today's scripture, it'll be coming from Psalms 127:1. And it reads, "Unless the Lord builds the house, the builders labor in vain. Unless the Lord watches over the city, the guards stand watch in vain." So I found a lot of like interesting things, kind of eye-opening within this certain scripture within itself. One being that the house can't truly be built if God isn't building it. So that's also encouraging because God can build relationships. He can build your family back up again. He can rebuild marriages. Like, I mean, nobody my age is really married, but that was just something that I saw and that I got from that certain part of that scripture. Also, another thing that I got reading that is that we tend to, as humans and as just people in general, we tend to, every time, you know, that we do run into labor, then we kind of get disappointed and we are questioning God like, Lord, is this friendship of you? Or Lord, is this relationship of you? Or Lord, is this house being built by you? Okay, is it, Lord? Let me know. But sometimes we run into, you know, labor and we actually get scared and we get disappointed and we get highly upset because we're really questioning God and we're asking Him if this is even of Him, if this is even of His will over our lives. You know, I've learned that relationships need roots to endure, and it's a lot, and it's a lot of work, especially the relationships that God has set out for you. So when, you know, God is building that house, for instance, in this case, you know, that relationship, when God is building that relationship, of course you're going to have to do some of the work too, sis or bro, because faith without works is dead, okay? So, you know, we all want to be loved and we all want to have a sense of the ability to give love to someone else. But sometimes we don't necessarily want to pay the price and necessarily put in the work of what it takes. And one of the major things you need to build that house, parentheses, relationship, is love. And love is a beautiful thing. Like, it's one of the top things needed to keep the relationship going, whether it be romantic or whether it be platonic. But there are 5 different types of love languages. 1 being words of affirmation, 2 being physical touch, receiving gifts, quality time, and acts of service. So those are important because everybody doesn't have the same, requirements on what it takes to feel loved or how they, need to be loved. However, in order for a relationship to grow, I feel that it's really important to know these kind of things because it really helps. I think another key point into relationships and love is being whole, like the importance of wholeness. If you're not whole, you can definitely be a danger to other people. And it's important to be self-aware of the good, the bad, the ugly about yourself. And being whole, you can definitely affirm that you are perfectly and totally fine, and you can do good by yourself. Like, you are fine by yourself. You don't need anybody by your side to verify, what you're doing or what God has for you. Another important thing in relationships and love is asking God for confirmation. Like, is this relationship really of you? And asking for his divine confirmations. And, being human, this is the human part in us. When we really want something to work, we will literally force our mind to regenerate and think that, this is of God, or, Lord, send me a sign. And, you're asking a blue car to drive down the street. Like, it has to be specific. Like, your requests, your prayers to him have to be specific. Because that blue car driving down the street is not specific when your neighbor has a blue car. Another thing that is important is to speak life over your situation and your circumstance. Make a demand that your situation will come into alignment with exactly what God said for you in your life. Make room for God to intercede where, you feel like it's failing the most or even the best, but make room for him to intercede so that he can really help you build that house. And the last thing being reassurance. Make sure God is truly building that house. Because at the end of the day, he only wants his divine plan to be fulfilled. He wants his purpose that you were created to do, and the assignment that you were created to have. He wants that to be fulfilled. So make sure that God is in the center of it all, in the midst of it all. So before we leave today, I hope that you got a little something from this video, but I also wanted to end with a scripture. So 1 Corinthians chapter 13, verses 4 through 8. And it says, "Love is patient, love is kind. It does not envy, it does not boast. It is not proud, it does not dishonor others. It is not self-seeking, it is not easily angered. It keeps no record of wrongs. Love does not delight in evil, but rejoices with the truth. It always protects, always trusts, always hopes, always perseveres. Love never fails. But where there are prophecies, they will cease. Where there are tongues, they will be stilled. Where there is knowledge, it will pass away."